I'm Gene Trowbridge, and welcome to videos on our YouTube channel. Before you leave, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And today what we're going to talk about is the question, can I do a 506B and 506C in the same offering? I'm not talking about at the same time, but I'm talking about in the same offering. Because it's pretty clear that if you're doing a 506B offering over here on this apartment building, and you're doing a 506C offering on another apartment building over here, but you're doing them at the same time, that's subject to integration. And the SEC could put both of those together as one offering and say, well, the most restrictive rule is that you can't advertise. So, did you blow your exemption by whatever you did? So that's important, but this question isn't that type of integration. This question is new to us. Can we do a 506B and a 506C in the same offering? And here's where we get there. If you're putting together a group and it's manager managed, you're in the securities world. In the securities world, every offering has to be registered with the SEC unless it's exempt. The way most people do exempt offerings is Regulation D. In fact, in the last 12-month report that the SEC came out with, this is a $1.8 trillion business doing offerings in Regulation D during a 12-month period of time. It's a lot of offerings. And this gets to the crux of the question. In Regulation D, there's a Rule 506B and a Rule 506C. 506B, the most important parts for this discussion are that you can take sophisticated investors, but you can't advertise. So everyone who comes into your 506B has to be someone with whom you have a pre-existing and substantive relation. And if you have any questions about that, I do have another video in this series called 3 Words that talks about sophisticated, pre-existing, and substantive. You might want to watch that. Well, 506C is relatively new. It's a little newer. It came out of the Jobs Act. And the issue there is you can't have any sophisticated investors, but you can advertise. You can advertise to anyone. You just have to take steps to be reasonably assured that anyone who sends you money to advertise in your deal is an accredited investor. So we've got these two things going on. And what's the question? The question is, can I do both of these in the same offering and not run awry with the rules of integration? And in March of 2021, the SEC came out with some guidance on there. And it's in their safe harbor provision. And number 4 says, offers and sales made in reliance on an exemption for which general solicitation is permitted will not be integrated if made subsequent to any terminated or completed offering, any terminated or completed offering. So what does that mean? I'll go back a slide here. What it means is if you're going to come out and do a 506C in the same offering that you started as a 506B, you can do it. And they're going to look at it under the safe harbor as 2 acceptable ways of getting investors. Okay? Offers and sales made in reliance on an exemption for general solicitation, that's 506C, will not be integrated if made subsequent to any terminated or completed offering. So it seems like the word terminated or completed is important because that's kind of a line, a time demarcation. And then we can do a 506C. So let's see if I have anything else on that. So what would you do? You would start with a 506B offering, no advertising. At some point, that offering ends. And it has to end, my words is specifically in unambiguously, we have to be clear that you've stopped raising money in this offering from sophisticated and whatever else the rules are under 506B. And we would file a Form D and tell the SEC that that part of the offering is over. Now you pick up the same documents and go ahead and advertise to raise the rest of the money. So you start advertising under Rule 506 when you're completed with your offering, and you'd be completed when you've raised the last dollar you're going to raise in 506C. When you're completed, we'll file a Form D for you to talk about your 506C offering, even though it's the same deal and the same materials. So what we're going to have to do for you when we write your documents is we're going to have to spell it out that this is an offering that's going to be start out under the basis of 506B, and at some time it will stop and it will go to 506C. And I envision in our documents that we would have, let's just say Class A investors are coming in through the 506B offering. We close that down. We send a Form D to the SEC. And then Class B investors come in through advertising. We raise the money there, close it down, and send a Form D to the SEC. Same offering, same everything. There just has to be a specific and unambiguous end to raising the money in 506B. So if you want to do something like that, you're going to contact your securities attorney and discuss that ahead of time, because we have to write that in the original documents, and that's okay, and that's pretty exciting. Here's a way where you can get a copy of my book, which explains more of this. You can click on the QR code, and a little form will pop up, and you give us your email address, and we'll send you a PDF copy of our book. This book was totally rewritten in the securities section, Chapter 5, because of the changes in the securities law in 2020 and 2021. It's my 4th edition. So here's how you contact us. Excuse me. Once again, I'm Gene Trowbridge with the Trowbridge Law Group. Here's our direct line to contact us, and your call will be forwarded to either Jonathan or myself. There's our website. You can always go to the website and sign up for a free consultation with either Jonathan or myself. And once again, you're at our YouTube channel. But before you leave, be sure to subscribe so you'll get all the information. We have a lot of good educational material, and we have interviews. I think we have interviews with 37 of our clients. You know, how did you get started? What do you see in the next 3 years? And what advice do you have for rookies? Those are basically the same 3 questions I ask in every interview. So that's a wrap. Thanks for watching us, and we'll see you here the next time.